The day Elvis cried on stage, Rapid City, 1977. It was June 21st, 1977, Rapid City, South Dakota.
Woody Booth, love me tender, I'll do later. I gotta do this first. This is a song that I just recorded. It's an old song called Unchained Melody.
The lights dimmed and the crowd erupted in cheers as the king took the stage. But this wasn't the Elvis Presley the world remembered. Not the electric showman who once commanded millions with a single curl of his lip. This was a visibly fragile man, his body weighed down by years of addiction, exhaustion, and pain. Yet, as the first notes of Unchained Melody began to echo through the hall, something extraordinary happened. Elvis stood at the piano that night, his hands trembling slightly as he adjusted the microphone. The audience had no idea what he'd been through just hours before. The medication, the fatigue, the quiet moments backstage where his team worried if he'd even make it through the show. But Elvis insisted. He wanted to sing live. No playback, no pre-recorded vocals, just him. Raw, unfiltered, and real. As he began to play, the room fell silent. The familiar gospel-tinged melody filled the arena, and his voice, and though weathered and cracked, carried a kind of haunting purity. It wasn't the smooth, golden sound of his early years, but something deeper. Something that came from pain, from faith, from a soul still fighting to be heard. Unchained Melody, a song about longing and devotion, felt painfully fitting. Every lyric seemed to echo his own struggle, chained not by love, but by fame, by expectations, by the very image the world refused to let him escape. Halfway through the song, his voice faltered, just for a moment.
Lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea.
He blinked, swallowed hard, and continued, his eyes glistening under the stage lights. Those closest to the stage could see it, the tears. He wasn't performing anymore, he was confessing. Every note, every breath felt like an act of redemption. And then, it happened. The moment that still sends chills down the spine of anyone who's seen the footage. Elvis wiped his eyes. His voice cracked again, but he kept going. He pressed on with everything he had left, his trembling hands dancing across the keys. His heart poured into every word. God speed your love to me. When the final note rang out, the crowd exploded in applause. Thousands rose to their feet, clapping, shouting, some even crying. To them, it was another breathtaking performance by the king of rock and roll. They didn't realize they had just witnessed one of the last truly human moments of his life. A glimpse of Elvis, not as a legend, but as a man. Offstage, things were very different. His health was deteriorating rapidly. Years of prescription drug abuse had taken their toll. He was bloated, constantly fatigued, and struggling with serious heart and liver problems. But what haunted him most wasn't the physical pain. It was the loneliness. Fame had given him everything the world could offer, yet taken away everything that mattered. Privacy, freedom, peace. Still, when the lights came on, he gave everything. That night in Rapid City, he didn't just sing, he testified. You could feel the gospel roots of his childhood, the echoes of Sunday mornings in Tupelo, the prayers of a mother who once told him he was special. The irony of it all was cruel. Only 2 months later, on August 16, 1977, Elvis Presley would be found dead in his Graceland bathroom, just 42 years old. The man who had changed the face of music forever died alone, the victim of a body and spirit worn down by years of silent suffering. But that night in Rapid City remains immortal. In that performance, he laid his soul bare. It wasn't perfect. His breathing was heavy, his pitch wavered, but that imperfection made it beautiful. Because for the first time in years, Elvis wasn't trying to be the king. He was just trying to be Elvis. The footage, captured for CBS's Elvis in Concert special, would later become one of the most controversial pieces of his legacy. Some said it should never have been aired, that it was too painful, too intimate, showing him in a state unworthy of the man he once was. But others saw it differently. They saw courage. They saw humanity. They saw a man who refused to lip sync, who refused to hide, who faced his audience one last time and gave them everything he had left. If you watch closely, you can see the weight of decades pressing on him. The fame, the touring, the endless demands. Yet, through all of that, his heart still reached for something higher. Unchained Melody wasn't just a song. It was his prayer, his final offering, his way of saying goodbye without words. When the concert ended, Elvis smiled faintly and said goodnight. It was a small, tired smile, but real. The crowd didn't know it, but they had just seen the King's last great stand, a moment of grace before the curtain fell. Today, that performance stands as one of the most emotional scenes in music history. Not because of technical brilliance, but because of truth. Because in those few minutes, Elvis Presley, the superstar, the icon, the myth, vanished. And what remained was a man, vulnerable, weary, and searching for something beyond the stage lights. The day Elvis cried on stage was not a moment of weakness. It was the last time his soul spoke freely. And in that cracked, trembling voice, you can still hear the boy from Tupelo, the one who sang for love, for faith, and for the simple joy of being alive. 2 months later, he was gone. But in Rapid City, in that one final song, Elvis Aaron Presley found his truth again and left it echoing forever in the hearts of those who still listen. If this touched your heart, like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful moments from music history.